National pride is on the line. Only one nation can win.
Oh.
An autopsy revealed that Edith Ann Haynes was beaten and strangled to death before the fire started in her mobile home. To find out whether an accelerant was used to start the fire, samples were collected and sent to the laboratory. There, forensic scientist Laurel Mason took the contents of the airtight containers and prepared them for testing.
What I need to do is get the ignitable liquid that was used to accelerate the fire into a gas form. And I do that by heating the sample up. That gas is then collected or absorbed onto the charcoal strip.
A gas chromatograph mass spectrometer analyzed the samples and compared them to a database of over 750 known reference samples.
It is like a doctor looking at an EKG. I have to be able to visually recognize what it is that I'm looking at. The sample that was removed from the threshold was positive for gasoline.
Now, investigators wanted to know who was the last person inside Ann's home on the day of the fire. Interestingly, neighbors saw Michael Bryant's truck at Ann's home around 3 p.m., but the truck was gone by 5 p.m. The fire didn't start until 2 hours later.
Michael Bryant and his wife were in the restaurant where he went, and the movie theater was in Evans, which is a suburb above Augusta, another good 15, 20 minutes to get there. So he was, at least a half hour or more away from her when the fire occurred.
Arson investigator Mike Lane knew from experience that there was a way that Bryant could have killed Miss Haynes, started the fire, and still have been at the movie 2 hours later.
Delayed ignition device is something that an arsonist will use so that they can be someplace else when the fire starts. And it may be for minutes, it could be for hours, in all actuality, it could be for days, the more sophisticated it is.
As for Bryant's alibi, investigators had one question: who keeps a movie receipt?
It is inconceivable that someone would keep in their records one movie stub, one restaurant receipt, unless they were keeping it for a specific reason. And his reason was that he wanted to be able to establish an alibi.
Scott Peebles checked out Michael Bryant's background and discovered that Bryant had been married before, so he called Bryant's ex-wife.
We learned from her that he was fascinated with fire and would frequently dabble with pyrotechnics, so to speak.
She also told Peebles that the home they owned together mysteriously burned to the ground. Bryant's ex-wife said the fire resulted in a substantial insurance settlement, and even she believed her ex-husband started it.
Prior to the fire, he had already rented an apartment that his ex-wife did not know he had put into his name.
Bryant's car was also destroyed in that fire. It too was insured. Strangely, the car's tires were a special model and valuable. Miraculously,